You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Hovland.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 426, August 27th, 2025. If you haven't enjoyed the summer already, my advice to you is start enjoying tomorrow because it's going to be over before you know it. But had a wonderful day here in Southern Ontario. It was beautiful weather. It was like perfect. It was 25 degrees Celsius, light winds, sunny skies. What a day. No humidity. It was fantastic. We had a great day. But with that, how's the weather in the other parts of the country with my co-host, Mr. Patrick Connor on the West Coast? How are things there?
Things are great over here. You said no humidity to speak of. That's nice because we normally are pretty low humidity here, but the last week it has been humid, and that is just not comfortable.
No, it's not.
Yep.
It is not. Mr. Casey Green joins us from the Mid-Atlantic. How are you today, sir? And how's the weather in your neck of the woods?
The next time we meet here live, it'll officially be the start of the autumn or the fall. So yeah, you get to enjoy it, and a month on paper to get your EV new use if you're going for tax credit. I say on paper because inventory is running out, new and used, and also just good rule of thumb for any of your energy efficient home appliances that would qualify appliances like the HVAC, a slide-in induction range, solar panels and batteries. There is a lot more nuance on those items, but if you just aim for September 30th, that you won't get burned. Midnight. You have to have all the paperwork showing that you own it, that it's been installed, whatever. And on the car, that you picked it up, even if it's still on the dealer lot to get scratches fixed or a new mirror because it was cracked by the truck driver, whatever. You have your paperwork showing that you own it and it's been taken off, or you'll be paying $7,500 more.
Yep.
Yeah. So
just coming quick.
Yeah. Although there might be a little wiggle room now, I wouldn't count on it. But the IRS has released some clarification on the rules, and they say if you have entered a binding contract and put money down towards that contract, then you do that before September, the end of September, you might still be able to take delivery later in the year and get credit for it. But those are wishy-washy rules, and what is considered a binding contract and what isn't. And I don't know if Tesla's contracts would meet that criteria or not. So don't risk it. And if you do want to risk it, check with a tax consultant, not just something you heard on the internet.
But even above both of those, the folks at the IRS are professionals and lawyers know the law. But what we're dealing with is unprecedented, and the opponents don't particularly care how legal something is. So,
right.
Your money, do you want to risk it? And then have to spend money on lawyers and representation and then still come up wrong because depending on which path it takes to the courts, is it going to go through people who are looking at the books or people who are looking at advice?
Yeah, which is why I said don't risk it. But
Yeah.
if things go wrong and you end up receiving it a few days later, don't give up. At least try. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Use this only as a safety net, or as a second chance, not as a plan.
break glass. Oh shoot, I don't have 7,500.
Yes.
Plans for this.
Right.
Or more. If you're talking solar and batteries, that could be tens of thousands. Oof.
So PSA, get your butt in gear and cross the T's and dot the I's because the time is like a month away. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The deadline, not the YouTube time is now.
Right. Yes.
Well, let's move on to some Tesla news. We got a bunch of it this week. No surprise there. First story I want to talk a little bit about is Tesla has expanded its territory for RoboTaxi in Austin for the third time and is now over 170 square miles with this third expansion. So we didn't even talk about the second expansion. Like it's just it's par for the course. It's not a surprise. The third is obviously they're keeping track of the data that's being collected from the ride service, and they're comfortable in moving out a little further, or they can also be getting some feedback from some of their current customers saying, hey, I'd like to go a little bit further. When you guys expand into this, so they looked that over and decided to go a little bit further. Also in California, they've got about an 80-mile geofence zone in the San Francisco Bay Area. So there's those two markets are currently being served, and they are starting to move forward with expansions. As I said, this is the third time that Austin has expanded.
Yeah, that's great to see, because that was one of the things we talked about is the way that Tesla does things. They set it up so that it can be massively scalable. And there's three ways they can scale it: by area, like they're doing here, with the number of vehicles that are involved in it. And obviously, when you go to a larger area, you need more vehicles. And then the number of people they allow into the program. And I think it's still by invitation only. I don't think it's open to the general public yet.
There was word that they were going to be pushing into the general public, but I believe it was at the end of this month.
Okay, right. Yeah, so there's still a lot of we'll be doing this story almost every week all year, I think, because it'll be spinning in one of those three every week. I hope.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be good, and we'll see. We'll see as this goes along as to when the next city will be added to the list. My guess, Miami. That's my guess. Just out of the blue. But
yeah, I think Musk has talked about Miami before, and it was on my list of the 37 regions they have to cover. Yep.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be something from your list, but it's got to be something that is either easy to get the waiver or license for, or something that they've already got already, like in California, where they have modified their testing agreement to do Tesla-powered Uber driver with FSD sitting in the driver's seat. Still it's RoboTaxi, because they're not touching the wheel and they're running the RoboTaxi software. Except for the one guy in the video was like deathly scared that like he was a new hire and never driven FSD.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, if they're having hangups getting it in Miami, maybe Houston would be next.
Oh yeah. Unless it was like an Austin thing, then they've already got Texas, Nevada, or Arizona. Which one is it? Nevada, Arizona, both, and California.
Yeah. So Arizona being high on that list too, Phoenix area.
Absolutely. What's kind of cool about this expansion, though, is how quickly they have expanded past Waymo, who's been in this for almost 20 years. And folks are like, well, they've got a driver in the car. So did Waymo for at least 5 years. So.
And I wouldn't call it a driver; it's a safety passenger, right?
Well, depends on the region. If it's
California
versus sitting in the driver's seat or safety sitting in the passenger seat with the door button under the thumb, a human to watch it. They call it
right.
So yeah, Waymo had that too. In fact, they had to be in the driver's seat because they weren't doing the whole. They didn't make the car. They bolted stuff on. So they were in the driver's seat, and then they were just out. And now there's a remote. So.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I wonder if. So, do you think that Tesla's expansion is just they're more risk tolerant, or do you think it's really that they have superior technology, or a little bit of both?
So, from the riders, it sounds basically like both, but it's more confident and a little bit smoother. But we'll see what happens when it gets an update to FSD, like version 14, because apparently they're just running all those updates to 13 that we never got this year.
Right.
And so now what's coming out now is basically catching you up to the RoboTaxis, unless you're like one of us, except for Patrick there, where you've got the old hardware. And I'm curious, so a lot of people with Model 3s and Model Ys and hardware dejected. My car's never going to get it. I'm not understanding why they jumping to that conclusion. I'd get it for legacy, like the air-cooled computer, but not that I'm not holding my breath, but at the same time, I'm not expecting them to drop the ball either. I'm just not expecting to get in front of that line. But so we're going to see is people with hardware 4 are going to continue to get the updates, and I'm wondering if they'll get onto the same build as RoboTaxi, like we saw where they synchronized the builds to 12 and 13 are getting built at the same time, as well as the underlying OS is able to change out underneath it. And so you combine that, like you said, the more risk tolerant. I don't know that they're that, but I think that they feel that their technology is more capable, and it has 2 people ready to hit the stop button should at the moment should something go sideways, and then they'll have enough data as they go out this wider expansion to at least have the car, maybe not even if it's not able to fix itself, but realize, hey, something's wrong, let me just stop right here and ask for help, and then call the center and say, hey, passenger directly.
Right.
Or even better, like, hey, I know this is wrong. I see that is a shoulder, and I see that it's flat and safe, and there's no, road out or shoulder out sign or big old sinkhole. Let me just get out of the way of traffic and wait for something to crash.
Yeah, since RoboTaxi is going to be dependent on FSD, we've seen in the past when they come out with a new FSD version that sometimes it's a step back for a build or two until they work out the kinks, and it's to be expected anytime you have new capabilities. Like you mentioned, version 14, it's going to have 10x the parameter count. That is not a small change. So I do expect, although that has it's far more capable, the initial version will be worse than what we have today. And then with some iteration, it'll be better or equal, and then eventually far better. So that's that. It'll be interesting to see how that rolls out to the RoboTaxi service as well. Will we start being the trainers for RoboTaxi, or will RoboTaxi get it first because it has some new features that they need? Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to watch this.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep our eye on it. As Patrick mentioned, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of updates as time goes along here. Quick shout out to the chat room. We've got Lee Moon joining us first, Derek with a close second, and hello to Highlander and JT24, of course. And Ben just joined us with a note about Casey's mic. Yes, we know about Casey's mic. We're working on it, but we shall see what we can do. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. Next story, Patrick's going to handle about Model Y.
That's right.
What's happening there?
This news comes to us from Not a Tesla app. Tesla warns of Model Y price increase in coming days as demand surges. By Karan Singh. Tesla VP Raj Lanathan. Okay, I'm close, I hope. Anathan has warned that Tesla may need to increase the price of the Model Y in the coming days. This price hike comes in response to a massive nationwide surge in demand as the inventory of new and inventory vehicles is being scooped up. So specifically, Raj has said that Tesla is going to further expedite their output. This means rush orders from vendors and perhaps additional shifts. That all has a price, and so that could result in the price going up. And with the tax credit ending soon, people are just buying the Model Y, and it's the new Model Y. So we have to remember that the Juniper just started deliveries in the US back in March. So it's gone from 0 to best-selling volume levels in just months. So what is it that we always say on this show? If you see the deal for you, don't hesitate. And this is another example of that. Because if you are trying to get it before the deadline to save money on the tax credit, but then the price goes up, well, you didn't save as much. So hopefully the price only goes up a couple thousand and it's still worth it. But if you wait too long, you could be paying even more. So the last part of this article speculates that this could be a record quarter for Tesla, and I hope it is. You guys all know we play our game every year guessing on who can get the production volume of Tesla the closest. And Tesla's best quarter ever for deliveries, which was 495,570 in Q4 of last year. So it'd be pretty hard to beat that and not go over 500,000. So it would be really cool to see if they can make 500,000 vehicles this quarter. I mean, the U.S. is just one market. Obviously, Tesla's delivering around the world, but it's not an insignificant market. So this tax credit ending is definitely having an impact here in the U.S.
Yeah, as we thought, when the credit's closing, people are starting to run. They're as we warned them a month ago, it's time to get in gear and make your decision, because time's growing short, and this is another indication that sales are going well, because now there's a demand problem. They have way too much demand, so it's something that makes a lot of sense when you see that a record quarter could be coming. And on top of it, we've got the quarter when it ends, the incentive goes away, so people are scrambling at this point. But if you had to listen to us a month ago, you wouldn't be scrambling, because you would have known that this was coming. So,
oh, but maybe it's taking them this long to get their finances in order.
They should have got those finances in order a lot earlier, Patrick. You know that. We were warning. We knew what was coming, and it's starting to come to fruition right in front of our eyes.
I was racing against the FSD transfer deadline when I ordered mine, and didn't want to push that. So I went right in the middle of the month, so I was safe.
Exactly.
And you still almost got them.
Right? Yeah, it was still tricky. Yeah.
And you didn't have extra. You had less people in your mix than normal, and you still
correct. Yep.
Oof.
So this is kind of interesting. We've been speculating as to where the next FSD would be rolling out. And it's looking like Australia, which was a front runner previously, looks like it might be coming in that position, because Tesla has actually reached out with invitations to media outlets in both Australia and New Zealand, confirming the announcement, but providing no additional details or what would be showcased, according to drive.com.au. So it's just basically a teaser going out to these media outlets and asking them to be ready, but it's not telling them for exactly what. But as we had mentioned on this show a month and a half, 2 months ago, we had seen that Australia and New Zealand was a front runner, that Tesla has apparently got permission from the government, the regulatory side of things, that they could implement FSD there. So it makes sense that once the regulation hurdle has been crossed, is that you would work towards some sort of introduction and I guess bring the media in, which is really not Tesla's MO most times. They seem to throw an event as opposed to invite people from media outlets. But maybe they feel that they don't have the online presence as much in Australia as they would like, and maybe they're inviting media because of that particular reason. Not really sure, just speculating.
Yeah, that is interesting. I know we've talked about on the show a couple times. There's a Australian YouTuber who loves to bash on Tesla, and I think he's mostly doing Tesla rage bait for clicks. But he's pretty funny. It would be interesting if they invited him, knowing that in some ways he's a hater.
Exactly.
I could see them doing that, trolling the trolls. Like, hey, try it. Oh, shoot, this is not what I was saying all this time.
Right, and he'd want to go just because it'd be good content for him.
Yeah, it would, and he would love it, I'm sure. Whether or not his reviews would be any good, that's up for speculation. But
watching a SpaceX hater yesterday. It was the day before the lightning, so it would have been earlier in the week or end of last week. And he was talking all this smack about how Flight 10 wasn't going to work, and then
that's why they're test flights. I don't understand that. I mean, SpaceX, the results speak for themselves. They're incredible. They're doing things that nobody else can do. The U.S. is absolutely dependent on them for access to space. I mean, it's what? Why would you hate on that?
Right, and then some folks are like, well, it got all melty this time. It's like, well, one, it came back, and two, wouldn't you rather find out where the edge of melty is before your $10 million satellite is on there, or your loved one?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they do test flights, and they do it differently than others that spend a whole lot more time at trying to get things perfect before they launch it. Where Tesla's like, well, okay, this looks like it might work. Let's try it and learn. You learn so much more by doing things than by just playing in CAD.
By learning, failing, iterating, and then doing it again. Yeah, absolutely.
And thankfully, they're not totally cavalier. Like if there's a human involved, like on board, they don't mess around if it's a test flight or if it's a regular flight, but they're trying something new. Why do I call that out? Is some folks like the ocean folks not too long ago are very cavalier, and they'll just blast through the warnings, and then tragedy. Whereas with SpaceX, they might also go through the warnings, but everybody involved has been informed what they are and signed off on it, just like they were with the Polaris Dawn. They're like, hey, we're going to get more radiation than typically. Here's how we can mitigate it, and what do you want to do? Everybody signed off. They did it anyway, and everybody came out right.
Exactly, and we knew this when Starbase had a media blitz at the beginning, and they showed the first Starship, and everyone was looking at going, wow, that's a lot of wavy rivet lines in that thing. That's a lot of dents in that thing. That's not much better than my kitchen garbage can when it comes to looks on the outside.
Yeah. The first one,
like I remember the questioning going on because, of course, we were used to space being NASA space, which was you'd have to have everything absolutely perfect before there would be a launch, and there'd be so many delays and so many scrubs because they couldn't get everything perfect. But Tesla, new to the game, they took it the way that they've done with their cars too, is that let's get the first version out there. Let's give it to our employees, let them test it out, get us some feedback, and then we'll modify and iterate from that. So again, you're not putting lives in danger. The spaceship is going up. It may disintegrate, but they are learning from it, and then they modify and iterate and push it out again. And that allows them to lead the space race at this point.
Yeah, and we saw that the old way, well, it usually worked, and it was usually a lot less eventful than what we see out of SpaceX day in and day out. We also saw just a smattering of failures with the competition this last time around. Yeah. So they still haven't completed a mission yet. So,
exactly.
Yeah, and as a fan, watching a test flight and having it go wrong and explode is a lot more exciting than just delays and budget overruns.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. It keeps the views high, I'm sure. Absolutely. Well, let's move on to another country in our news feed here, and this country, South Korea, and this was kind of a surprise. South Korea has been green lighted to get the CyberTruck. So this is I didn't realize that South Korea was going to be one of those countries that could do it. But it was announced just this week that new orders are going to start being accepted in South Korea as of somewhere where it was customers can confirm their orders from August 29th to September 4th. And new orders will start on September the 5th. So it's looking like South Korea is going to be the next country behind Canada and Mexico to get a Cybertruck delivered to their country.
I really was expecting Norway to be higher on the list because the F-150 Lightning is available there. And at first I was thinking, well, it's kind of a large vehicle to have there, but then when you think it turns tighter than the Model Y does, and I've heard enough of the anti-car, pro-train, anti-current way we do urbanization around the world. YouTubers complain about how there are a couple great walkable cities in South Korea, but there are also a bunch that are even worse than ours score for car-centricness. And so I think that we still have some places to drive and use this thing, although I don't know about the
What kind of supercharger network do they have there?
They use the NAX supercharger.
NAX. Yeah, and they drive on the right side?
I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they do.
Oh, you're telling me? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to order the all-wheel drive CyberTruck or the Cyber Beast. And a note from Chosun Biz publication indicated that CyberTruck had a record high pre-order rate in South Korea since the vehicle was initially unveiled in 2019. So, like many other world countries, they got actual pre-orders from South Korea, and there was quite a few of them. So it'll be interesting to see if those orders translate into record sales.
Yeah, Tesla made me an offer that I have to consider redoing the Tesla stretch for to actually execute my Cybertruck pre-order. We'll see. We didn't do a story on that, did we? The Lux package that we talked about recently
Yes.
from the SNX is now on Cybertruck. With the Supercharger. So
that happened this week as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's worth a little more to you than most people. You actually would be out there using it. For me, it'd be, yeah. If only they brought the range extender back.
Yeah. So this next story, we of course buried the lead here, but this was again, this is the third year in a row where the Tesla supercharging network has led the satisfaction reports. And at this point, I would even say 5 years ago.
Yeah,
this was not
only 3. Really? Come on.
This was not a surprise at all.
Yeah.
They have led the satisfaction report, as far as I can find, forever since the start of the supercharger network. I think they've led, and they've never looked back. They've always been leading. This particular report, which is who's running this, according to JD Power. They indicated that this is the third year in a row, but I believe this is only the third year that JD Power has done a satisfaction report on chargers.
They should phrase it more like, in every survey we've ever done about this.
Exactly. Well, no, Tesla can do that. In every survey that JD Power's ever done, we've won.
Right.
Because it's true. I think the reason that they've just started now is because Tesla doesn't pay to play. So now there are more networks. They've been able to send out their thing like, hey, get your customers in. I'm not saying that it's pay to win. It's definitely pay to play. So,
and a
based on everything that I understand.
A quote from the article indicates that this is really shocking. Well, okay, it's not shocking. It's par for the course from what we have seen and what we've experienced out there. But 1 out of every charging attempts fails for non-Tesla owners. So non-Tesla, I guess, non-Tesla charging networks. 1 out of 5, 20%. And man, if I had to do a journey, and was depending on the network, which you are, you're even if you're on vacation, you're depending that you're able to get there in a timely manner. You're depending that the charger will be available based on what the computer tells you on the screen, and you're depending that you're going to get a charge in a reasonable amount of time. If any of those things go wrong, even if you're on vacation, it sours the trip. And could you imagine if you did 7 charges on a large trip, and 2 of the charges didn't work, and then you were forced to go to Plan B or C to find something? And I don't know about the two of you, but back in the day when I had a non-Tesla vehicle, I would have plans B and C available to me every time I planned a long distance trip. I have not planned a B and C in forever since owning the Tesla. I've had the Tesla now for over 7 years, and I think it's probably about 7 years. As soon as I took ownership of the car, I think that was the last time I ever did a plan B and a plan C in my mind when it came to trips.
Yeah, since the X, I've never even really thought twice about where and when and how I'm going to charge. There have been, early on in its lifetime, there were a couple times we had to find the Chatamo, but that was just driving out to the edges of the network. So the fact that there was a Chatamo was only because there was a electric company right there, and nobody had an X right there except Tesla. And now, we'll leave on a trip at 40%. When we think about, we need to go here, and we forgot about it. Okay, we just roll with it. Never would have left without a full charge. Not necessarily 100% charge, but a nice, good, healthy charge before this.
Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah. So the when I had the Leaf, I traveled with that whole bag of adapters. That was my backup. It's like, okay, if this doesn't work, I'm going to find something else. And then I haven't even opened that bag since I got the Tesla. The only I talked about it on the show when we drove the Chevy Spark and we had to stop and charge in Salem. What a pain that was. It was the third or fourth station that we went to before we got one that worked. So yeah, that was horrible.
Absolutely. And I've got the Chatamo adapter and the CCS adapter, and I haven't used any of them other than to take a picture and record a short video that I didn't even publish since the CCS adapter came out. And in Chatamo, I have to say I used that. Last time I used that, I was really rocking Uber, and so I would charge the Model S with that because that was all that was in the town. But other than that power station trip, not power station, power company trip, I never did use it on the X like that.
Yeah.
And Derek points out part of the reason they get these scores is you report it in the Tesla app and if it's damaged, and they fix it super quick. Even back in the day when the app didn't have all that functionality, I would call the number that was on the chargers. It's not there anymore, and somebody would listen and take a note of what I said, and I'm guessing they still want to get done quickly, so they don't have to keep writing it down.
Exactly. Well, Derek's got a point that when you're reporting it to Tesla, they actually take it seriously.
Yeah.
Someone marks it down and someone flags it that it should be checked upon the next time that a service vehicle is in the area. I know that I reported a problem with Comber, Ontario, had a wooden fence around the transformers, the white boxes that Tesla has outside the Superchargers, and I reported that the wooden gate that locks it up was swinging wide open, and they. At that time, it was just by phone you could report an issue or by email. I chose the phone because I was there. They thanked me profusely and said that they would have someone out there immediately to make sure that no one got inside the fenced area and caused any harm to themselves or caused any trouble. So, and I know that with other chargers, I reported in the early days that they were broken, and no one seemed to care. Like it was
right.
like, I had a hard time getting people to record the call like that, to say that, well, we'll take this down and we'll let somebody know. It sounded like you were just getting that, yes, okay, goodbye.
Yeah, if you get them to even care and write it down, sometimes you call, oh yeah, we know, it's been down for about 3 months. Or worse than that, oh, we don't actually own this charger, we just do the service.
Right.
Do the service.
Yeah, that is really frustrating, and that some of them are set up that way where, it's up to the site facilities to handle that. We can't do anything about it. They own it. We just do billing. Okay, well, you won't get any billing if it doesn't work.
Maybe you should be more concerned than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I mean, their stations, the ones we're talking about in particular, they are some of the most expensive in the industry, and their monthly fees are off the chain as well. The easiest solution for them would be to, even if the customer is not in the network, isn't paying anymore, go ahead and do it. And as long as they haven't blocked anybody else from visiting their site, like it's still a public charger, just start them up again, and then take your repairs out of the VIG, and then turn them back off again. It's you're still getting your cut, and it's the customer doesn't need to know the details of the business agreement.
Right, because these are Tesla branded, used by Tesla vehicle owners, and so they have skin in the game and they care. Where when you're charging company XYZ and you did this because you got some government incentives, and once they're planted in the ground, it's spending money on them doesn't get you any more incentives. So who cares? It's not a great system. This is why Tesla's number one, because they actually this is what they spend their money on, making great products instead of Super Bowl ads and other things that don't make a better experience.
Yeah, if you have a host that goes and buys their chargers, their wall connectors at a hotel or a local museum, and they go to Best Buy and they grab a couple of Tesla wall connectors, the universals, because they work on everything, and they plug them in, and something happens, you can still submit them as long as they show up in the app. You can still submit them to Tesla, and they'll listen to it. I don't know that they're the ones who come and fix it, but yeah, come back and there it is, it's working again, or it's removed itself from the map, because that's another cool thing that Tesla's done with chargers, is your car is what's actually evaluating this. Oh, the current's out of whack, failed to charge too many times, and then not just your car, but a bunch of cars reported, it's gone. And then you need like 3 times as many cars to get back on to the map, because they want to make sure it's good and regular before they put their nose in that.
And actually, Highlander makes a point in the chat room about asking them to send somebody to get the Oregon, Ohio supercharger going. It may not be Tesla's problem there. It may be a case where the utility hasn't hooked them up yet. I know that here in Southern Ontario, we have a city, Guelph, Ontario. That supercharger has been up and finished construction, lines painted, all ready to go. It's almost been 3 years, and they're still waiting for the utility to get their ducks in a row to get them service. So in that case, Tesla can't do anything, because they have to use the utility that's in the city, and there's been such a lack of movement by that utility to help them get it done. Now, I'm not suggesting, Highlander, that is the case in Oregon, Ohio, but it has happened. I've seen it happen a few times here in Ontario.
Yeah, definitely. You got hundreds of stalls in Sweden that are finally back in the queue to get connected, thanks to the meddling of the IF metal. And I think that Tesla's got the experience right for this one. It's annoying to see a site that's open and ready to go, but it's way more inconvenient that once the station has been commissioned, for there to be something to go wrong with it. And since 2012, I've come across 3 times where I had to stop or reroute when the car didn't reroute me first, or had to wait. And we're talking probably a million miles of Tesla driving, not my own car, but just all of them, mine, loaners, test drives, and we had to wait 5 extra minutes returning from a hurricane evacuation, not leaving, returning from a hurricane evacuation. And then when I jumped the line at a Thanksgiving Day event, and one other time the station flooded because of a hurricane, and that one, I don't know if I rerouted, but I think the car did it as we were approaching it, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
At 3 years, I wonder when does Tesla end up suing this utility? I know they want to partner with the utilities, but at some point that's just negligence. It seems like they're intentionally delaying it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that Guelph is not far from me, and I would be irate if that was the case. But I also know that they were building that large supercharger in Kitchener that I was telling you guys about when they were building it, and they added the level 2s to the supercharger. So they have 11 level 2s as well as an 8-pack supercharger. And that particular supercharger took a year to get the proper hookup. And what I found afterwards from the mall owner was that some of the equipment that Tesla had installed had rated different ratings on it than what the utility was expecting. So there was a back and forth that had to happen so that the utility could confirm that the hookup they were giving to the superchargers and the L2s would be something that the equipment could handle. And there was this back and forth, and it took a year to work out. But 3 years just sounds ridiculous. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the level 2s still come as a surprise to others, though, because the Tesla level 2s can get really out of spec compared to what they're expecting, because they don't just stop at 240-ish volts. They can go all the way up to 277 and not blink.
Yeah, and they're not just 16 or 20 amp. They can go 80 amp. And,
80 amp, 277, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so JD Power, you shouldn't be surprised either. This is, I don't think you're going to have another person take over that spot in the foreseeable future because, again, it seems that the third-party charger network out there really is lacking and continues to lack. I'm not sure why they can't make it more dependable, but it's just not there yet. Like, I would be... If I was driving a non-Tesla vehicle, my first move would be to get the adapter so I could use the Tesla network if I needed to. Mm-hmm. And then my next move would be I would have a plan B for every single charging stop, because it's something that just seems to be par for the course for the other charging groups.
Yeah, I suspect what we'll see happen with JD Power and anyone else who decides to do this forward is they'll pull what happened to me on my first drag race, and they'll just invent new categories to make sure that somebody else can win too. And
yes,
it goes that way sometimes.
We're number one in the best non-Tesla network.
right. The best non-Tesla network is this, but even the other manufacturers are realizing this and know what's going on. You'll like this one, Patrick. The new Leaf. It still has 2 ports, an AC and a DC, and the DC is NAGS, and the AC is J1772, and the DC still has a little flap over it. But everybody else will like that they put it on the front passenger side, so they'll be nosing in, but they will be using the designated spot. So that would be nice. But they knew they had to get an NAGS port on there, and they knew it was more important to have it for the supercharging. But they just couldn't get it to work with the AC switcher in time for when they had already... I guess this thing was almost done. It was late, but it was almost done by the time they had to pick a charge port company. So there's the NAGS on the front passenger side, and then J1772 is on the front driver side. So no more nose, unfortunately. But that would have actually been perfect. Put in the nose, have the...
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and it's either rear driver side or front passenger. Either one of those works fine. So I think that was smart of Nissan to put it there.
Yeah, at least until we get the more of the long cable superchargers like they did in Germany. I don't know how they could complete a whole country there, and then the rest of the world seems to be just going to drag and feet. But we'll see. Like, you hear me complaining about this sort of right now, but it's going to be like probably next year, the year after. It'll be just an afterthought. Oh yeah, they seen skinny shorter cables back in the day. So
it has a NAGS port, but it's DC only?
DC only, and it's still got this little flippy cover.
Right. So if I'm driving a new Leaf and I go to a Tesla destination charger and I plug it in, it fits, it just won't do anything?
It will warn you on the screen. That's not going to work.
Yeah, it will not charge. Yeah.
So then you have to use
an level 2. You have to use the CCS charger on the other side.
So I have to have a NAGS to J1772 and then plug that in on the driver side, and then it would work.
Or the universal Tesla destination charger.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Their excuse as well. Most of the people getting this already have a Leaf. looking at
Their
it,
excuse
price-
is, well, we have all this extra inventory and we got to
That's
use
exactly
it.
what it was. Their port supplier wasn't ready in time, and their charger
Yeah.
supplier.
And we're
doing 400
contractually obligated to continue buying these until
Yeah.
we do X amount of units. So we're
Yeah.
shipping them out in every car. In fact, some cars have 3 of them.
Right. There's one in the boot. Don't worry about it. And it seems I haven't, it's not fully out yet, but it seems like they weren't able to get their charger to understand. Hey, if you get 400 volts, 800 volts DC, just disconnect, slide it over here, and don't try to touch it. But it sounds like what they're just doing is touching it and blowing up. So like
And Highlander's got a great idea. Yeah, put their feet to the fire,
Mhm.
Highlander. Call them and say, what's going on with this supercharger? Why is it not? Ask them to look into it and get back to you with an answer, because it could very well be the utility or municipality, but at least you could start getting some answers. And another thing Highlander to do is check out supercharge.info, that website, and go take a look at that particular charger you're speaking about in Ohio. And there will be a TMC blog where people are putting in comments about the latest thing they found out about that charger. The answer might already be there for you. In fact, if I got time, I'll go take a look for that Oregon, Ohio charger myself and see if I can see any information in TMC.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive how much data they have on what permits have been pulled and what the status is, and up to date
pricing.
photos sometimes. Yeah.
Up to date photo pricing, people running by there. There's one around here that's not making much progress. Like they haven't even broke ground yet. They've got the permits. They've got some of the story for why it's dragging feet. Although a whole car wash has leveled and leveled a restaurant, and they built the car wash and opened up and been open for a little while since they first discovered the paperwork on the Supercharger. So we can go back and see what the update is on why it's still not done.
Well, I think with that, we're going to wrap it for this evening. We certainly thank everyone for being here in the chat room. And of course, you can give us a thumbs up on the video. Press that subscribe button. It helps us out immensely. We would really appreciate it. And through the week, if you'd like to find out what's happening in between shows, come visit us on our X feed at the Tesla Life. And you can see what's happening there as well. First, let's move to Casey and see if he's got some shout outs for us.
Yeah. Catch us on Friday and Monday for the Tesla Life Express. And as Highlander just pointed out, catch us on Sunday over at youtube.com/CaseyGreen and x.com/gpeston. We had a lively discussion this past week about several items, including solar power and other forms of, I call them free energy. They're not free energy in the sense that free energy doesn't exist. They are, you set something out to collect the energy that already exists from the sun. Basically, it's all solar powered in some way, and there's a lively discussion. So I'd like to have another one next week. So I'd like to have you there. Come on in.
Very good, very good. Patrick, what do you got for us?
Well, if you haven't already done so, go to driveelectricmonth.org, find an event near you, and register to attend. Because there could be test drives, there could be talks, there will certainly be EV owners there. And if you've already got an EV, it's great to know the community. If you're interested in an EV, this is the place to go to talk to people about it. And if you're here in the greater Portland area, you should come to the OEVA's event. It's Saturday, September 13th from 10 to 4. And I will be one of the speakers at the event. I'm giving a talk called The Fantastic Four of Home Energy. There's your teaser. So check that out. And as always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I recently wrote an article comparing whether or not a net zero solar install is better than a fully off-grid install. And if you're fully off-grid, you're obviously not using CO2. Everything comes from the sun, which is great. But it might not be the most eco-friendly, and you can read that blog post to find out why.
Very good. Very good. We will do that. Also, if you happen to be on this side of the border, Riva, WREVA, will be hosting a Drive Electric Mode show as well in Waterloo, Ontario. So we're listed on the website. Feel free to sign up and join us on Saturday, October 4th. So we look forward to seeing you there as well. With that, we thought, again, thanks for everyone joining us. We want to thank the chat room for being so lively and providing us with some information. And we thank Lee Moon for the music that we use every week. And we will catch you next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla Life.
Stay positive. Test negative.
In answer to what Pat was saying, I would like an off-griddable system, but if it's affordable, I'd like to have it built in. So, thank you, Lee Moon. Thoughts with you. We'll catch you next time.
And we'll work on Casey's mic.
Yep.
I'm working actively on it.